we have to evaluate the following limit if it exists. So what we have here is the limit of x comma y as x comma y tends to 0, 0. So in this case, x tends to 0 and y tends to 0 of 5xy divided by x squared plus y squared. Okay, so as the first steps in evaluating limit is we're going to substitute the values of x directly, the values of x and y directly, to see if things will work out for us. So we're going to substitute x equals 0 and y equals 0 and see what happens. 5 times x, which is 0, times y, which is 0, divided by x squared, which is 0 squared, plus y squared, which is 0 squared. However, what we get is 0 over 0. Now, this is an undefined result. So we have to try some other technique. Now, can we divide both numerator and denominator by anything to make this work? It doesn't seem so from what I'm looking at, because both x and y approaches 0. If we divide by x or divide by y, we still have an undefined situation. It doesn't seem like we can factorize the numerator and divide it, and factorize the denominator if necessary, and then divide anything. So what we'll have to do here, we have both of them approaching 0, 0. So let us consider looking at it graphically. We have our x and y axis. This is the origin, 0, 0. X is 0, y is 0. What we're going to do is look at the situation that we have. And we're going to look at what happens as we move along. Well, in this case, this line is y equals 0. That's a x-axis is y equals 0. Then we're going to look and see what happens as we move towards 0, 0 along x equals 0. That's the y-axis. We could also try to approach the 0 from this direction as we move along. Well, this is y equals x. Now, if necessary, we could also move towards 0, 0. And remember, we could move towards 0, 0 from this direction too. Right? Now, we really only need to test two approaches. If we find that as we move along one line towards 0, 0 and we get a limit or an answer, then we move along towards the same 0, 0 and we get the same answer, it's possible that it exists. And we could move along 0, 0 towards 0, 0 along some other path and see if they all coincide. Now, if you find that you move along one path towards 0, 0 and get an answer, then you move along a different path towards 0, 0 and get a different answer, then the limit does not exist in that case. Here, this would be along y equals negative x and so on. Let's try and see what happens. Suppose we move along y equals 0. We have 5xy over x squared plus y squared. 5xy over x squared plus y squared. In this case, when y is 0, you will have 5 times x times 0 divided by x squared plus 0. See that? Now, in that case, we would have 5 by x is 5x times 0 is 0 divided by x squared, which is 0. Going towards 0, 0 along y equals 0 gives us an answer 0. Suppose we move towards it along x equals 0. We move along x equals 0. What would happen? 5 times 0 times y over 0 squared plus y squared. This would be 0 over y squared, which is 0. Both of them coincide so far. But we cannot make a conclusion yet. Let's move towards it along the line y equals x. So if we go along the line or the path y equals x, what would happen? What we would have here is 5. Well, if y is x, we could turn y to x or x to y. Let us turn y to x. So it's 5x times x divided by x squared plus y squared, but y is x. So in this case, we have x squared. Alright? Now, 5 by x is 5 times x squared. Okay? Divided by x squared plus x squared is 2x squared. Now, x squared divided by x squared, that's 1. So we have 5 divided by 2. So you can conclude here that the limit does not exist because you're approaching 0, 0 from two different paths, so you get two different answers. Alright? Two of the answers were the same, yes, but when you try the third path, you get a different answer. Suppose we also tried y equals negative x. Then in that case, you have 5xy. So, along y equals negative x, you have 5xy divided by x squared plus y squared. But y is negative x. So you change this y to negative x. And you change this y to negative x. So you're going to have negative 5x squared when you multiply them out divided by x squared. Now if you square negative x, you're going to get positive x. So it's plus x squared. So what we have here is negative 5x squared divided by 2x squared. But this would give you negative 5 over 2, which is again different from this one and also different from the 0 that we got before. Alright? We got 3 different answers so far. But only 2 different answers you need. to conclude that the limit does not exist. So based on what happened here, what you can say is that the limit does not exist.